Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you guys all had an incredible weekend and did something super fun and exciting with those you care about and love. So for tonight, we're just going to do a kind of a quick recording. 2 weeks ago, we did go live. I guess that's on February 1st in terms of like American time. It's February 2nd chart time. On that day, we looked at a total of 7 trades. Of course, we got over 3,000 pips from that just one moment of viewing the charts, and that's with some losses, one that's still holding. So tonight we're going to take just a quick second. We're going to review those trades, of course, and then I'm going to look for, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total trades. So if you're not too busy, make sure you chime in, like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. And of course, any certain content that you want me to go over, please put it in the chat and all that good jazz. So without further ado, of course, we have to do our disclaimer that says, listen, everything we talk about on these calls, on these recordings, they are obviously for training and educational purposes only. Nothing we discuss is to be considered legal, financial, or investing advice. I practice high risk, high reward trading. You can obviously follow similar steps with safer, lower risk, lower reward kind of styles. You don't have to do the whole grow it or blow it. You don't have to flip a $100 account. You don't have to flip a $10,000 account. You don't have to go for 20% and 6 figures in a month. You also don't have to go for $100 in a month. So obviously it's completely up to you of how you want to compound your way to success. What we do on these live kind of public calls, at least, is we just simply use a system called simplicity, not even an intentional pun on words, that just came naturally on accident. We look for a couple of trades a couple times a month. The whole concept of what I'm trying to do here is to show that literally with ease, if you back off of trading, if you don't super kind of babysit them, super kind of constantly be trading, constantly looking for new trades, getting in and getting out, and letting all the psychology get to you, you don't even need to trade that much. I mean, figure to beat Wall Street, you don't need much more than 10% a year. You can do that in 2 hours a month by yourself without even really knowing what you're doing. And this system is a great example of that. So maybe next week or next time I go live for this, I will show you what we've been doing in our morning classes. I think we're at over 250,000 pips in total, and that's kind of live scalping twice a week in the mornings with a bigger group of people. It's tons of fun and tons of pips, but then again, we're doing something a little bit more hands-on and a little bit more high risk. So, but for now, let's go ahead and stay true to form. Let's take a look at these trades we looked at 2 weeks ago, and then we have a few trades to look at tonight. Obviously, you can't take them all, but if you decide to take a few and kind of just mimic what we're doing in your demo account, paper trade it, do what you need to do as you're learning, by all means, it's not a bad way to be, to see, hey, wait a minute, can this work the way I think it can work? Without being sold, without having to do all the, get good at understanding the terminology and what all of these complicated concepts are. It really is as easy as you make it. So let's go ahead and go over to the charts and take a look at what we did 2 weeks ago. Okay, so first off, please forgive me. I had some technological errors this morning. Just my charts were going crazy. My VPS, I think just an overload of stuff going on. So if I have some phrasing, you know why. But I wanted to keep my commitment and kind of show you what we do and how we do it. So obviously 2 Tuesdays ago, this was February 1st, February 2nd on UTC time, right? So for chart time, at about the 3 o'clock candle, which is recorded, it is public, it is live, you have access to it. We looked at this batch of kind of trades is what we were looking for. Of those, USD CAD is one that we're still kind of holding. It hasn't really hit a stop loss from the time that we looked at it, and it also hasn't really went into profit enough to call it a close, right? So that's going to be in and around, let's see if I can't get still, at least a little bit still. That's going to be in and around this candle right here. So that's February 2nd at the 3 o'clock candle, which means we're in right around here. We never really break this structure, but as you can see, we really haven't went into profit enough by at least that 1 ADR to even close or to protect. So for right now, we're still holding. It is a great, I'm going to even write that down, so great new entry if you're not already in this. I'm still looking to sell this down short term, not for a bajillion pips, but again, so the ADR on this is about 73 pips normalized. So 73 pips from where we're currently at. If I zoom it out and make it super ugly, that's your first 80 pips or so. And of course, to the next level of structure, you're still at better than a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And I would be taking it all the way down to here, which is about 190 pips in total. Definitely great potential considering your stop loss would be, approximately half of that. So 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, great potential setup. This is one that we looked at last time we were on, and we're still technically holding. So that's one of the ones we have to review. This one has been paying in spades. I kind of have just been tracking it. This is silver on the 1 hour time frame using the simplicity system. Let me see if I can't zoom this in a little bit. We know that we were looking at this trade in and around these candles right here. So you can see on the bottom of my screen, we're looking for the 2-2. Gotta go over just a smidge. 2-2 at the 3 o'clock candle. So that was in and around here. We did spring and make a lower low, but from where that was, so from where we finally broke that fractal area, we still ended up getting a total of 120-ish pips out of this. 131 is what I got from where my entry was. Not a bad way to be. We, of course, did pull down. I am looking at selling or continuing to buy this back up long term. Obviously, you don't have to. You can wait for a more sizable pullback. But for me and mine, I am definitely still looking for the longer term buys. So I'm going to take that off our watch list for now. XRP, which is Ripple, for those of y'all who don't know, 1 hour time frame. I'm going to have to zoom out. I know that when we zoom out, you can't see the candles. I get it. But we got to be able to see the time over here. And since you can't see it, I'm going to have to zoom out. So that's here. That is 2-2 at the 3 o'clock candle. So just keep looking below until you see the time that we're looking for. This was in and around the time that we were looking at that trade. Right around here. You can see we do pop and make a lower low, but we do, we do pop lower, but we never make a lower low. And from the time we entered that, that's a whopping 2,870 pips. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. This is where the majority of our pips came from for this last 2-week period. It was a beautiful trade. Currently, as we speak, most of the cryptos have just kind of popped up. I don't know if I'm still looking for that like super swoop of a buy just yet. I think we might get some upward push before we potentially get another, short-term sell-off. And then from there, I'm just going to kind of continue to day trade and see how this all plays out. But we did get a nice impulse. So overall, great trade that we had there. I'm going to go ahead and hit that off the watch list. I'm not currently looking for a new entry. The buy hasn't really played out yet, but again, we've got structure too close, stop losses too large to justify day trading this. So if you're investing, by all means, hold what you're holding, but day trading, not so much, at least not for me. So EURJPY was another one, and I don't know if I want to do this every single time I do this, but again, come take a look. Let's see. Look at the very bottom of my screen. You'll be able to see when that candle pops up. That's the 2-2. At about the 3 o'clock time frame. So 2-2, 3 o'clock. Here's where we're looking at in and around this range. We don't have to be perfect. This one got about 380 total pips. Not a bad way to be at all. As you can see, big, beautiful move. We've impulsed down. We're pulling a correction. So again, I'm out on this one. I'm not looking for any more than what we already got. Euro NZD we did look at, and this is one of the ones that actually took a loss. A couple of the NZD pairs have been trading. They just all had their mind of their own, if you will. So let's go take a look. We're looking at, and on this one we can afford to zoom in and actually see a little bit more clearly. So this was the time we were looking. We're looking for that 2-2 at 3 o'clock. We were actually looking for the sell, and as you can see, we never come back down. And unlike the other ones where I typically say, hey, I'm waiting for the break, this one I said, hey, I'm already actively in. So with that said, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's find the proper spot on our chart. Bear with me here. So that's in and around this time frame. I was already actively in. That means your stop loss was in and around 100, 180 pips. I actually lost 180 pips on this one. That was kind of a hefty loss for a Forex pair, at least in my opinion. So pushed up, made another level. Nice little impulse down. We've got a current buy arrow, and I'm just not looking to sell this down right now. I'm not looking really to take an additional trade on this right now. A loss is a loss, and that's okay, because at the end of the week, it doesn't have to be perfect to be profitable. So GN is another one. GN is actually one that's on my list again for this week, but it's the other loss that we kind of took, or that I took more accurately. So let's take a look. 2-3 o'clock, that's going to be right in around here. So of course I've got to zoom out so you can see a little bit more clearly. So look to the bottom of my screen, you'll see the time of the candle and the time that we're analyzing together. So that's 2-2-3. Let's see. So around here, this did move a little bit, but not enough to protect, not enough to say, hey, that's a fair win. We wicked up, made a slightly higher high. In total, I only lost 110 on this one, probably because of my entry. Nice impulse down finally. We've corrected back to where price broke out, and now I'm looking for the sell. So in this one, I'm going to keep this on my list for this week. I'm keeping USD CAD for the buy, USD CAD for the sell. Sorry, I almost put my foot in my mouth. GBP NZD for the sell. And then of course NZD CHF was the last one we looked at last week. This was a beautiful trade as well. I think this one I got a total of 96 pips on. Don't quote me. But this is in and around where we were looking. We said, hey, we're going to look at the break of the fractal. Okay, so that's right around, let's see, you guys get the idea. Right in here, we wicked in, came down all the way up, 100 pips, beautiful way to be. And now, of course, we're kind of sitting right in that mid-range. So taking that off of our watch list for now. We're about 10 minutes into this video. And as for this next coming 2 weeks, remember, February is a shorter month. There's a lot going on economically. But for the rest of this month, I still have USD CAD on my tracking list. I also still have GBP NZD on my list, right? Both of those are sells. So now the new trades I'm looking for, again, just to review, USD CAD, I'm still looking for this to sell down. I still see the potential. We already discussed that a moment ago. GBP NZD, if I really clean this up and we get a clearer view, take a look at this on the daily time frame. Big, huge impulse push up. We kind of have finally started losing some steam. We wicked down real far. Of course, we started to correct, came back up. Are failing to make a higher high. Potential head and shoulders, wicky kind of tweezer tops we've got going on right now. This is a daily time frame. So I'm just looking to retest some of this zone. The risk to reward ratio is phenomenal. Kind of want an idea. 172 pips all the way down to about 600. That is not bad at all, right? You're looking at approximately, what, a 4-to-1 if you're kind of going to include all the fees and all that good jazz. So for me, yes, I'm still looking to sell this. Those are two trades I'm looking for. And of course, we've got a simplicity signal on the 1 hour time frame. So the break of that fractal, by all means, come on in. Now, the next thing I'm going to say before I continue, our little short-term disclaimer is you'll notice a couple of these are USD based or NZD based or CAD. Those are the three pairs for the three currencies I'm really looking at this week. However, we can't take all of the USD pairs or all the CAD pairs or all the NZD pairs. You're going to have to pick your poison. Kind of don't over leverage yourself to where you're super heavy in USD or super heavy in CAD, because then if something happens, of course, there goes your account. So for the sake of best setups, I'm still going to review these. And then, of course, it's up to you what you decide to do. First and foremost is AUD USD. I'm looking for a short-term buy. Again, we've got a pretty small ADR. So risk to reward ratio, if we're going slightly bigger than, structure, still a great trade. That's about 1 ADR, really easy target, not hard to do. I'm putting that on our watch list. We've got a brand new signal. Wait till the break of our fractal, and then by all means take that. NZD USD, like I said, these are the ones setting up. Can't control what sets up. Beautiful buy, actually. I like this one a whole bunch to kind of complete the wave pattern we're kind of setting up with. Brand new simplicity signal for those of y'all who love the signals. We're just breaking out of a 1 hour fractal now. We actually talked about this earlier. Not this one, actually, a different one. So great potential trade. Again, you're protecting when you hit to 1 ADR at least, without a doubt, and you're going to hit that pretty quickly overall. And if you zoom out, you've got way more room than that. You've got about 3 ADR of this on this one, on this pair of room. About 3 ADR. So that's another one. USD CAD we already reviewed. GBP NZD we are also already reviewed. NZD CAD, I'm going to zoom out again to give you a better picture. Okay. Unlike the other pairs we looked at, this one actually has a sell right now going on simplicity, but we've got a nice impulse correction. Okay, we pulled back. I'm looking for the kind of the takeoff on this. I'm looking for where price is currently at, all the way up to about 200-ish pips, 200 to 300 pips easy. That's about 4 ADR on this pair. Definitely great risk to reward. Absolutely love this setup. Guaranteed? Absolutely not. So just take that with a grain of salt. And that's NZD CAD. So put that on our little watch list so we can review it again next 2 weeks from now. And USD CAD, of course, we already went over. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. Which one am I missing? AUD USD, NZD USD, USD CAD, GBP NZD, NZD CAD. And, I've got USD CAD on here twice because we were still kind of holding it already as well. So there you go. Guys, 14 minutes, and that's because I had to take time to record and had all this other stuff, and I had to talk. It took me 14 minutes. You don't even have to know candle formations. You don't have to know much. You do need a couple cool tools. There's no doubt about that. You need some good management, but it took about 14 minutes to go look for these trades. So 2 weeks ago when we did this, we got a total of 3,304 pips is what I closed out on that. That was with 7 trades total, 4 wins, 2 losses, and 1 that we're still holding. That is not bad at all. So with good management, that kind of helps you scale out of that trade, protects you properly, trails you properly, you've got great potential. So I hope that helps. I hope that that's helping you see the market and in a way that doesn't overcomplicate, if I could talk properly today. That doesn't like make everyone think, well, hey, the big A candles, all the YouTube gurus, right? All the tweezer tops and all the candle formations and the indicators and the things that you have to buy, the things you have to learn. It really is not that complex. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So by all means, I hope you stick with these YouTubes long enough to even just paper trade. Go take these trades in demo accounts, stop losses, at structure with some room if you're selling, at structure with some room if you're buying. Look at the ADR, that's the average daily range, for whatever pair you're taking. Make sure you're protecting that trade when you hit to 1 ADR. Protecting might mean A, you're closing out a portion of your trade. That means you're bagging some of your profits. B, you're applying a trailing stop. C, you're moving your stop loss into profit. D, I can't think. There's a whole nother one. Anyways, I think it's just the management. So you can't do the other ones without proper management. But it's very, very simple. At that point, let the rest of it run. And now you've got yourself a really good, very, very duplicatable, profitable trading system. So again, happy Tuesday. I hope you guys all have an amazing, wonderful evening. Take care and God bless.